Okay, so last time we've learned how to declare a variable as a string. Okay, so we can store characters, any characters on your keyboard. So how did we declare a variable? What's the first thing you need to do to declare a variable? Dim. So you write the word dim, and we declared it as the name of the variable. We called it name as string because we wanted to store any character on the keyboard, any symbols, any text. You can store it inside this variable. Okay. Today we want to create another variable, but this time we want to store numbers in there. How do we declare a variable that if you want to store numbers in there? Yes. Okay, integer. So first you write the word dim, and we're going to call this variable as age. Okay, as integer. So we have two variables. One, okay, dim name as string. We want to store text in there, and then we have another one called age as integer. Okay, so just like before, last lesson, we want to display something to the user. So how do you display something to the user? Yes. Console.WriteLine. Okay, open bracket, close bracket, quotation mark. We're going to say enter name. Okay, that's the message to the user. Now this would be displayed, whatever is inside the bracket, inside the quotation mark, whatever you write, whatever text you put, whatever symbol you put is going to be displayed on the user screen. You want whatever. Now you ask the user a question, to do an input. You're going to ask the user enter his name. The user is going to enter his name. You want to store it somewhere. You want to store it in a location. You will need a variable. Where would you want to store then whatever the username enters? Okay, inside the variable name. So we're going to put name, okay, equals console.readline. Okay, and whatever the user now types in, the user input will be stored inside the variable called name. Okay, then we're going to ask the user again, display another message to the user. How do you display a message to the user? Yeah. Okay, console.WriteLine. Okay, and we're going to say enter age. Now you can store if the user enters a number, you can store it inside a variable. Can I store this into a name? You can, but you won't be treated as a number. You'll just treat it as a symbol. You want it to be stored as a number. If you want to perform any kind of calculation later on, then you can. To do that, you have to store it inside a variable that is an integer. Okay, so in this case, we have an integer variable called age. So we're going to do age is equal to console.readline. Okay, is that understood? Okay, this is how you store. Okay, if you want to store text, you use string, and if you want to store any kind of a number, then you use an integer variable, so you can store something. If you want to perform any kind of calculation afterwards, no problem. You can perform calculation because it's an integer, and you can do calculation with it. Any question? Everybody understand this? Okay. Okay, so the next thing we want to learn is the if statements. If statements is a conditional statements. Okay, it's also known as conditional statement. So the conditional statement is you can put a condition on a program to say if the condition is correct, okay, if it's true, execute the next set of code, okay, or skip it. Okay, you can set it up like that. So if statements, okay, the way to do if statements, you just simply write in Visual Basic, you simply write the if. Okay, I'm going to do if I know the user has typed in, I ask the user to enter age, and the user has typed in age, and whatever the user number, okay, the value that he typed in, whatever the age the user is gone onto the variable called age. I can make a simple if statement, say if age is greater, okay, if age is greater than particular number. So for example, how old are you? 13. Okay. If the age is greater than 13, then, okay, I want to find out if the age is greater, which means he's older. Okay. You want to find the difference between the user's age and your age. Okay. So if I want to find the difference between the user's age and your age, and I know he's older, what do I have to do? Subtract what? Whose age first? User's age. Yes, he's older. So I can say age minus 13. Okay. But I have to store, it will do it, but I have to store this data somewhere. Okay. So what would I need to store the data? I would need a variable. I can create another variable, okay, dim, and I just call it diff, which means difference, as what type of data would I store in there? Integer. I want to store number in this, so I want to call it integer. Okay, so I'm going to store integer. Yes. No, you can declare it other places as well. Yeah. Okay, you can put it in the middle of the program as well. You can store it, you can declare it here as well. Okay, no problem. So if the user's age is greater, I want the user's age minus 13, and I want this data to be stored inside this variable called diff. Diff is equal to, if the age is greater than 13, whatever the user's age minus 13, store it into the variable called diff. Else, okay, otherwise, if it's not greater, what do you want to do? Yes. Who's older? You older. Okay. So what would you want to do? Okay, so you do your age minus user's age, and you want to store it into diff. Okay. Now you find the difference between the user's age and your age. If the user is older, it will execute this part of the program. Why? If the age is greater than 13, then execute this part of the code. Else, otherwise, can you execute this part of the code? Whatever this code part of the code is what? If the age is greater, whatever the user's age is minus 13, that's my age. Put it inside the variable diff. Otherwise, I'm older, user's younger, therefore whatever from my age, take away the user's age, you find the difference. Now you can just simply display the difference. Console.writeLine, all I have to do is just use diff, it will display the difference. I'll put a console.writeLine read line there to keep this user screen there. Okay? Yes. I'll run it in a minute. Yeah.
So you don't put like dim because diff as integer.
Before yes. Here. Dim diff as integer. Yeah.
Yeah. If you pull that off the if statement, it still works.
No, you'll get confused. Because it hasn't been declared. You declare it before, then you basically run the code or use the variable. Okay, is everyone understood? Okay, if I run it, okay, let's run it. Run the program. Okay. Enter name, Mizan, age, 25. I'm 25. I wish I was 25. Okay, the difference between the user's age, which is 25 years old, and the programmer, which is he's actually 13. is the 12 years difference. If I do it the other way around, I'll run the program again. Okay, let's call it Mizan. And then I put a younger age, so let's put 8. Yeah, okay, 8. Okay, the difference is 5. Okay, 5 years. Okay, we could improve this program, of course, if, okay, we could improve this program. If it's younger, we can also display you're this many years younger than me, or if it's older, I said this many years older than me. How can we change this program to do that? What's the easiest way to do that? Any answer? Easiest way to do that? Anyone? Yes? Put it inside here. Type in console dot write line, and we can say you are, and we need to display the variable. So when we display the variable, we need to use the symbol what? Which symbol do we need to use? And symbol. Okay? And then type in diff. Okay? Another and symbol. Okay? Years. Okay? Quotation mark. Years older. Quotation mark. Okay? Right. If the user is younger, then of course it will not evoke this part of the code. It will go straight to this. You will skip it. So if the user is older, then it will do this. If the user is younger, it will do else. Else, okay, 13 minus age. And you want to say another console to write line. And this time you will say you are, whatever the age is, this many years younger. Okay. Now if I run the program, and get rid of this line. If I run the program, okay, if I run the program, so if I type in my name, Mizan, and if I say if I'm 25 years old, which means I'm older, you are 12 years older. Okay, if I run the program again, type in the name again, okay, Mizan, and then if I type in a younger age, which is 8, if I type in 8, you say you are 5 years younger. Is that understood? Yeah. Okay.